the use of artificial intelligence already rearing its head in this race. Trump put together an AI an AI attack on Ron DeSantis, making fun of the failed Twitter Spaces launch. Let's take a listen. It includes voices from Elon, from Adolf Hitler, from all these other folks.
Klaus Schwab, George Soros is in there.
Soros.
Dick Cheney, they've got in there.
Is somehow in there. Let's take a listen, guys. It's really funny.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter Space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello? Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Just shut up, George.
Can somebody just mute George?
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
God damn it.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret gay lover.
Gotta be honest, it's good. What can you say? Also, I mean, I will say it's obvious that it's AI, but it's also, they're getting dangerously close there to where
the DeSantis voice is pretty.
I also thought the Elon, the problem.
The Elon voice is close.
The Elon is very on. The problem is they still can't match his bizarre pause cadence. That's actually the issue. Is like I'm like that's actually too cogent of a way in the way that they speak. It'd be like for me, you have to factor in my swallows every like 12 seconds or whatever. Or my inarticulate nature that I know everybody hates, my in order twos and all those other things.
Do you know did they make this or they just somebody else made it and they posted it?
So it was posted.
He posted it on his Instagram.
It was posted on Instagram and it was also posted on his Truth Social page, which then migrated over to his campaign staff, which posted it on Twitter. So I don't know. I do know that all of the campaigns are very interested in all of this, given the fact that the GOP had that AI response to Joe Biden's initial launch. You had a couple of other AI ads that have already debuted. So this is just the first of many, most likely.
I just look at this and I'm like, how are you going to compete with this guy? Like he can just get away with things that no one else can. I can't imagine advising a candidate to post that video. But for Trump, it not only is it advisable, it works. And meanwhile, you contrast that, okay, which is just scathing, and they got the FBI in there, they got the devil Adolf Hitler all in there, like backing Ron DeSantis for president. And then you can contrast that with Ron DeSantis's little tepid, passive-aggressive jabs, which is all that he feels comfortable to do against Trump. And again, I don't think he's wrong in making that decision. Because when he did take a, more fulsome swing against Trump, which was still just kind of passive-aggressive about like, I don't know anything about hush money to porn stars, people freaked out about it. Meanwhile, Trump can post this, he can call Ron DeSantis a groomer, he can launch 1,000 different, policy attacks against him, smear him all day long, and everyone's just like, it's Trump.
Yep.
I don't know how, I just genuinely don't know how you compete against it. I think that Ron DeSantis has tried to position himself in the most intelligent way that he can. I do think there are missteps there. I think his campaign is way too online. I think the issue set is way too niche. I think it's way too wine track. I think those vulnerabilities were on display last night. Obviously, the Twitter Spaces thing was a disaster, but I can't say he's mishandling all of these things. I just don't know that there is an ability, barring some unforeseen circumstances, which absolutely could happen. I don't know that there is a lane to take out Donald Trump this election cycle. It's just very hard for me to imagine it.
I've always believed that, and that's why, look, I've always thought it's going to be very difficult. And look, let's present the best case for him, which we always do. Trump is old. He could literally die. He could go to prison. He could say I find this hard to believe, given that I've covered him now for 7 years. It's never happened before, but he could say something which legitimately disqualifies him in the eyes of the GOP electorate and of the entire country, which makes him completely unelectable. Again, I very much doubt that's the case, but it's possible. That's basically it. I think he could self-immolate politically. He could go to prison, although I still think that would make him stronger, but maybe that would also self-immolate him.
Maybe that would hurt him on the electability case.
It would
that
help
would make
him.
the DeSantis electability case stronger,
I mean,
right?
at the very least, you can still run, but you can't do rallies from prison, so you wouldn't have your eyes on the... Although I still think it would turn into a media circus, so I don't know. And then the third case is, like I said, Trump. Something could happen to Trump. He could have a health event or something. He doesn't necessarily have to die. He could just drop out or whatever of the race. He's old, so who knows? Those are basically the three cases, Krystal, where
so basically DeSantis's greatest hope is if Trump drops dead.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I've said this. I've told this story before. Lyndon Johnson, was one of the most powerful people in Washington when he's a Senate Majority Leader, and everyone was like, "Lyndon, why would you want to be vice president?" And he said, and he literally looked at a reporter and he cited the number of presidents who had died in office, and he was like, 25%. I'll take those odds, darling, something like that. And hey,
famously.
It worked out for him. So it's one of those where sometimes, let's say maybe the chance is 10. He's only 44 years old. That's not bad. He'd be one of the youngest presidents. He'd be the youngest president in a long time, actually. I believe 43 is how old Kennedy was. And
How old was
Obama was he was in his, I would say, later 40s. So yeah, he would be quite young to be president of the United States should he be inaugurated. So, why not?
Yeah, I mean, I still think, even as I have made the case pretty forcefully, that I think it's very difficult to succeed. I think his circumstances are not totally under his control. I think something has to happen. I don't know if it's as dire as Trump, like literally dying, but something big has to happen to shake up the race, in my opinion, for Ron DeSantis to have a shot. But I still sort of agree with apparently what his wife told him, which is like, look, you get one moment, and this is it.
What I just said.
You know, this is when you're at your peak. And maybe if you perform well in the Republican primary, but you come up short, Trump can only, if he wins election again, he can only serve another term. So then maybe you're in the pole position for the next time around. And you keep yourself live for that opportunity. I mean, I could just as easily see it going the other way, which is that you flame out so disastrously, or Trump torches you so disastrously that you're sort of dead to the GOP primary base. But I genuinely think that could go either way. So if I was in his shoes, I'd still think I'd run this time, even though the odds at this point are really clearly against him. And the last thing that I'll say about all of this is I know people feel that the media treats, or some people feel the media treats Ron DeSantis unfairly, but I actually think the media they don't want this race to be over because it makes it less interesting, right? It makes it, there's less cable news fodder, there's less to write about. It just makes it less sort of ratings and click driven if the thing is basically over before it began. And you could see in the articles that they were writing leading up to this launch, like the one we covered about his $200 million plan to win, which was written before the disastrous launch. There were all these pieces about like, okay, here's how he could do it, and here's what his aides are saying, and they're saying, don't worry about the early missteps, and all this stuff about him not having a real personality. This is all nonsense. Look at how effective he's been in Florida, et cetera. I think that they were ready to write his resurrection narrative just to keep this thing interesting. But now, obviously, that the option of writing the resurrection narrative is off the table for the moment. I'm sure it will come back around.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.